I'm doing my presentation on anger management in adolescents and children. Anger is defined as a negative feeling state associated with cognitive distortions, physiologic changes, and behavioral reactions. These reactions are usually related to sorrow, trouble, rage, and wrath. The most common ways that anger is expressed is physical and verbal aggression. However, some more extreme but less likely forms of expressing anger are violence and self-harm. Aggressive behavior in mild to moderate forms is fairly normal during early childhood because younger children have a harder time communicating their emotions. Usually, as children develop, they learn skills to control their aggression before it becomes problematic. Aggression becomes concerning when it occurs frequently, is highly intense and violent, and causes harm to others. Between 1.4 and 4.2 million children in the United States suffer from a conduct disorder. Contrary to adults, youth have a harder time managing and coping with their anger because they lack the emotional understanding and coping skills. According to researchers, over the last few decades, violence among youth in the United States has steadily increased, despite more recent reports suggesting the opposite. In fact, according to the 2009 U.S. crime statistics, youth under the age of 18 account for approximately 14% of violent crimes per year in the United States. Between the years 1967 and 1997, the arrest rate for juvenile crime increased by 143%. These stats blatantly show the need for change among youth today. Ignoring anger from a child can result in deviant and deceitful behavior later in their teens and on to adulthood. But these aren't the only problems that can arise from ignoring uncontrolled anger. Adolescent anger and aggression can scar society in a number of ways and has impacted millions of people. One infamous event in U.S. history that was a result of adolescent aggression is the student killings at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado. In 1999, two students aged 17 and 18 embarked on a killing spree in the high school, killing 13 people and wounding more than 20 others. This has been reported as the deadliest school massacre in our nation's history. The shootings at Columbine were the worst, but definitely not the only. Statistics show that there were 321 school-associated violent deaths in the United States from 1992 through 2001. Not only does adolescent anger and aggression cause problems in our society, it can also directly affect a child's performance in school. Incidents such as the Columbine shootings not only affect the problem students' behavior in school, but has a huge impact on other students' ability to learn as well. Traumatic experiences such as a shooting in school can distract students from classroom material, especially if they were close to the victims. Besides shooting, anger in the classroom setting is usually destructive, such as bullying other students, inappropriate language directed towards other students or teachers, or other distracting behaviors, such as throwing paper balls or just random outbursts. Behaviors such as these can interfere with the relationship between said problem student and other students, and their relationship with the teachers as well, which in turn will negatively impact their learning experience. Now, what should a group offer that's dealing with children with anger management? The goal of anger management groups is to reduce negative feelings. The three main ways to deal with angry feelings are expressing anger, suppressing anger, and calming anger. Expressing anger teaches ways to communicate anger so that they will be less likely to have an angry outburst. The group should practice using phrases such as "I am mad because" or "I am feeling angry because," instead of just brushing off the reason why they're angry. The children in these groups need to learn how to express what their needs are. Suppressing anger is when you try to you take your anger and turn it into another emotion. It helps them focus on positive situations instead of the negative situations. They must recognize their anger and turn it into something constructive and positive. With suppressing anger, you have to be careful because if the child does not convert the anger into something positive or something else, the unexpressed anger can cause health problems such as high blood pressure or depression. And finally, calming anger should teach and practice calming behaviors such as taking a time out. Taking a time out could include things like taking deep breaths, going for a walk outside, spending time alone, doing yoga, or other forms of exercise. Now, as for my group structure, the main focus in my groups would be to redirect the negative energy and turn it into something positive. I feel like doing a lot of activities with the children would be more effective than just simply having a conversation with them and telling them what they should and should not do. I would begin each session by going around to group members and asking about situations where they were angry and how they went about handling it. If they handled it in a negative way, we can talk about what they could do different using those calming methods, taking a time out, counting to 10 before they decide to react in an angry situation. If they're still angry about said situation that we discussed in the beginning of our meeting, I could have them draw out their feelings on a piece of paper. That's converting the negative feelings into something more positive, like drawing. Or simply we could play a game, a frustration game, so that they could take their anger out on something besides other people. Also, to close out each session, I was considering having short meditation sessions around 10 minutes long with calming songs or sounds. I feel like this would help the children to relax and be calm once they go home. Also, we could do journaling in our group or in my groups to where the students keep track of their feelings throughout the time between each session so that we can know what's been going on and they don't just say, oh, I don't remember. They'll have to make a journal each day of what's been going wrong, what's made them angry, and how they've reacted to it so that we can further advance their coping skills and their ability to deal with their emotions. And that is all for my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah.